a famous rabbi, chief rabbi, I believe, of Algeria at one stage in time, Rabbi Moshe Eisenbet. Very, very famous rabbi here on this special edition over here. We're not actually recording the video at the time period of the Hilula per se, but I thought it's an opportune time to speak about the rabbi, because we've spoken about various other great rabbis that happen to be in France, Algeria. Now, he was born in 1883 and he passed away in January 1958. I think, to be precise, I think it was the 15th of January 1958 it was. He was about 75 years of age when he passed away. He was a historian. He was an Algerian rabbi. He was rabbi of Costantine and Algiers, and later chief rabbi of Algeria, respectively. So born in 1883, he was a great rabbi, and we've spoken about on this series probably about at least 20 rabbis that made their marks in France, probably about 60 or 70 rabbis at different points in time were prominent rabbis in Algeria also, respectively. So he'd have three children. His wife's name was Rabbinit Lor, from the Goldschmidt family. And he would study education in the famous rabbinical seminary in Paris it was. We learn later on that he would receive the honor of award, a legion, a special medal, a special accolade from France. He was a rabbi of Sedan for 3 years, between 1911 to 1914, so that was in his younger years, without a doubt. Then in Constantine for a 4-year period. I believe it was between the years 1928 to 1932. Then a rabbi in Algiers between 1932 to 1941. That was a 9-year period. And eventually he'll become the deputy chief rabbi of Algeria between 1941 to 1943. Prominent positions in of itself, and he'll get more positions afterwards. I believe he will, so that was very, very important positions, respectively. And then I think afterwards, after 1943 it was, he would then eventually be appointed the chief rabbi of Algeria. בשנת 1943 החל לכהן כרב הראשי של אלג'יריה. Very, very much respected position over there. Okay, so as I said before, he was born in 1883 in Paris. It was in France, and he would learn in the famous rabbinical seminary in Paris, as I said before. 1911, we'll see his time period as rabbi of Sedan. 1914. Remember, the First World War will break out, and I think he would have to, if I'm not mistaken, he would have to join and be drafted in a part of time in of itself within regards to the army at that stage. I'll say what it says here. במלחמת העולם הראשונה, גיוס לכוחות המזיונים של צרפת והשתתף בלחמיה בוורדן. And then come on the year 1918, he would get married to his wife, Rabbinit Lor Goldschmidt, she happened to be, and they would have 3 children born to them. Then in 1928, he was appointed the rabbi of Costantine, prominent position. This would be a position he'll hold for 4 years. And then come on 1932, as we said on the outset, he'll become the rabbi of Algiers till the year 1941 for a 9-year period. It was very, very interesting enough. He'll work over there, doing important roles in of itself. And 1941, he'll become a deputy chief rabbi over there, respectively. And more will be progressed. And I think come at the time period, he would take over. There was another famous rabbi, Rabbi Moshe Eisenbet. He would take the position from 1943 all the way, I think maybe to 1958, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if it was a sole position or not in of itself. Wait, hold on a minute. Okay, so then he would take on, he eventually passed away on the 15th of January in the year 1958 it was. So we have to go through that. Okay, so so that was, we're talking 1958, it's about 67 years ago here from time recording. He wrote some great Torah colossal books, including one of them was called the Yudot Safon Africa. This was an investigation on the Jewish demographics inside the city of Constantine. So that was the first book. Then another book, the Yudot Safon Africa. This was more demographics on the various different places also. Then there was a book called Yehudi Morocco. This was a history book with regards to travelings in Morocco. This was, I think, based in the year 1948. He would actually publish a book. Then another book called the Yehudim Bulgaria or Tunis Bidan HaTurki. This would be printed in 1952. I think it will investigate during the periods between 1515 to 1830, respectively. So he was a prominent rabbi there. Remember, we spoke about Rabbi David Ashkenazi quite recently. He was also a very prominent rabbi in Algeria. And I think the rabbi that was there also, I think just after him, if I'm not mistaken, was Rabbi Moshe Eisenbet. Let's just say something about him for a minute. He lived between the years 1908 to 1962. He would also become a chief rabbi in Algiers at that point in time. He was also, just like Rabbi Moshe, who we just spoke about, he was also awarded with a Legion of Honor, I believe. So he was also awarded with prominent position, and Sakit Tavidi. Yeah, he was also awarded with prominent positions. He would also become, I think, part of Rosh Bet Din Gadol in Paris. He would be part of the Jewish court in Paris, respectively, which was another prominent position in of itself. Remember, we've spoken about many of the great rabbis in Algeria on various occasions of time. So he would eventually, I think, end up in Har HaMenuchot in Jerusalem. He would be buried in. He was a great rabbi also in Algeria. He would take his tenure on Rav Fingerhut to the year 1962. So very, very interesting. So we know that we just spoke today about Rav Moshe over here, who would take on various different positions for many, many years. There was also another famous rabbi, Rabbi David Ashkenazi, who we've spoken about on various occasions before. He was a chief rabbi also from the famous Ashkenazi. And there was also another famous prominent rabbi, Rabbi Leon Ashkenazi, we spoke about, who was also a prominent rabbi, I believe, in Algeria in his time. So it's always interesting to get some good Jewish geography. I think actually Rabbi Leon Ashkenazi was a rabbi from 1922 afterwards till 1996 he lived. So this was way later on. So Rabbi David Ashkenazi was obviously naturally his father, who was a great rabbi. Sakit? No? Okay. Yeah, so he was also a great rabbi in of itself. Rabbi David Ashkenazi, I think, was a rabbi of Oran between the years 1930 to 1958, and the chief rabbi of Algeria in 1958 to 1962. So I'm not sure, maybe he was actually the last chief rabbi in of itself. So very interesting. So we're exploring a bit of history of Algeria here today, here in this special edition over here, just walking on the Chol Hamoed Sukkot, at the moment the city of Elad. So we will have some just scenes of this city for a minute also as we go on. Now friends, everyone that's watching at the moment, asking for a favor, please subscribe to the channel. We are nearing at the moment a staggering, at the moment, 7,500 subscribers, which is a phenomenal achievement, friends. So I'm asking you all, please join our community here. We're a community, we're growing, we're learning about the history of great rabbis of yesteryear from all Oriental countries, Ottoman countries, different parts of Israel and North Africa and Asia. So a lot of reasons to join. We do tours all over different yeshivot, for example. We tour all around Israel, different famous sites. We like to explore and see and grow in of itself. And we have, like, every single day an interesting Jewish personality that comes to share some of his amazing wisdom for Am Yisrael also. So very interesting. So we're a channel packed with information, importances, and so on and so forth. We'll leave you some scenes here of the city of Elad as a special treat over here. There's a famous Rabbi Yosef Karo Street. He was a great rabbi, the author of the Code of Jewish Law. Okay. Okay. And over here we're just exploring some of the sights of the city, friends. Over here in Elad. רק אם אתה אוכל. אנחנו אוכלים פה עכשיו ואז. Come, בוא, שב. כן, בוא. You can see different synagogues over here. Wishing you all well and a fantastic day. Thanks everyone for watching and have a great day.